Tears of the Kingdom has some pretty fun bosses, but what if you wanted to fight all the bosses at the same time in some kind of boss rush mode? Well, you can do that. You just have to head to the underground of Hyrule Castle without having beaten any of the main bosses. It can be quite fun and hard at the same time, and that's why I'm here, to teach you how you can beat it. If you just started a new save file and you want some guidance on how to get some weapons quick, then I got you. In Lookout Landing, there will be a guide that will give you 3 swords. I recommend you pick up the Royal Sword and the Knight Sword, for reasons I'm about to explain later. Furthermore, we're also gonna need a weapon that has fire-based properties. You can easily find such weapons in the Great Sky Island. Some of the bosses later on easily get stunned by fire attacks, so it might be useful to have one in your back pocket. We are also gonna need some choo-choo jelly for a certain boss that comes later on. While we are traveling towards the final boss, we can easily find the materials we need, such as the choo-choo jelly, some weapons, some shields, and even more. Of course, there will be some powerful enemies in your way, but if you manage to defeat them, they will reward you with some great items. Eventually, you will reach the drop-off that leads to the boss rush, but before you do that, I want you to sap all of your health with that gloom root until you get to 1 heart. You see, the Knight's Broadsword has a special buff. When you're on 1 heart, you will do double damage, including with the fused item you have. However, you will have to be on 1 heart during the entire boss rush, so it might be a little bit more risky than the other strategies. However, this is my strategy, and I am sticking to it. For the first phase of Demon King's army, we will fight bokoblins. A whole lot of bokoblins. I first recommend you defeat at least 10 normal bokoblins before you turn your attention to the bow ones. Finish off the horde and grab as many Knight's Broadswords as you can grab. Same goes for shields and arrows that the bow bokoblins drop. And when you're all done and set, finish off the boss boko and you can go to the second phase. Now for Lizalfos. You're gonna first take out all of their bowsmen, and you will make sure that you also pick up their bow while you're at it. Afterwards, focus your attention to the red Lizalfos because they can spit. If there's only 1 Lizalfos left, I recommend you then fuse all your weapons while you're dodging. The Gibdo phase is also quite easy, just use any elemental weapon or bow attachment and you should easily be able to defeat them. Do make sure to pick up their wings and bones for later. For the Moblin phase, we will first shoot out all the red Moblins first, and afterwards focus on the rest. The Moblins also drop Knight's Claymores, which has the same effect as the Knight's Broadsword, so make sure to pick them up if you got the chance. For our first spectacular boss, we've got Golgera. A very easy boss, you just need to hit 12 arrows, but luckily with the Gibdo wings we can easily just elevate our arrows towards it and get it into second phase before it can even attack. Speaking of second phase, for the second phase it will spawn countless tornadoes, and you should mostly focus on dodging those first before you can even attack. But the tornadoes are the only thing that are special about second phase, so it's quite similar to the first one, so you'll easily be able to defeat it. Now for Marbled Ghoma, a boss that can be easily exploited, however it has a lot of range, so you might want to keep your distance at some times. First thing you do is you wait for it to spawn some marbled balls, and then you use your Ultra Hand to move those balls towards them. It will explode, and then you can use your Ascend ability to easily go to its eye. The second phase is very similar to the first one, so you're not gonna have to really worry. If you can beat the first one, you can beat the second. For the second, instead of marbled balls, we have marbled rocks. Do the same things and you should be able to beat it. Now for the boss Mucktorock, an interesting boss where you can only use choo-choo jelly to be able to down it so you can attack it. However, it's quite easy, while second phase is just plain old annoying. It consists of it constantly running away while you're trying to catch it and attack it. But to be honest, it's not that bad. Now for Queen Gibdo, an actual hard boss that takes a lot of skill to defeat. To even be able to attack the boss, you're gonna need any elemental weapon or arrowhead. Afterwards you have to attack it as much as you can, and hopefully you will be able to knock it out. Now for second phase, which is a lot harder than you think. It will become a game of you constantly running away while it spawns enemies. The only way to be able to even hit it is by using arrows. But it still will attack, so it's recommended you keep your distance, no matter what. Also, it's recommended you use the Gibdo bones that we got from earlier to do more damage to the boss. And if you just keep up, you will eventually win. Now for our next boss, Seized Construct. A boss that will be a little bit more easier because we have the fire emitter club now. However, even though it helps out a lot, you should always stand guard whenever you can. To even be able to defeat the boss, you need to hit it towards the metal bars at the side of the arena. However, either way, the club will be the best weapon for being able to stun the boss whenever you need it. And well, for the second phase, it's kinda the same. Just hit it with your club and you'll be fine. And whenever it tries to use its special attack, just take it down with your club. Continue as you always do, and eventually you'll win. Now for Phantom Ganondorf, a boss that may or may not overwhelm you. The first phase, I recommend you line up one of the phantoms and you spam them with as much arrows as you can. Afterwards, they will start teleporting towards you to be able to attack you. I recommend you hold your shield out and try to get a flurry rush in. Make sure to also pick up the weapons they drop while focusing on them. Now the second phase will consist of it making a giant pool of gloom. Hit it with at least 3 arrows and it should stop expanding. Eventually they will switch their weapons to clubs or spears. So make sure you adapt to their changes. The more you defeat, the easier it gets. And eventually you will be successful. Afterwards there will be a cutscene. This will signify that you have completed the first part of the challenge and that you will now have to head to Ganondorf. I will let you do the rest. Rush in.